Good morning everyone and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and it's Friday my day. It's a personal haul. I have made 3 little items. That's what I've done. I've made 3 little items from this haul, and we're going to do some stamping and stenciling at the end. Right, so first up, my stencils, and I've got candy canes, which this one is a set of 2, and you can see that those 2 are layered up there. So I've got candy cane stencils. I'm going to measure these in a second. I've got the snowflakes and snowballs or snowfall, which will just, layer wherever you want them to. And I also got these 2 actually came together as a set, the candy canes and the snowflakes, and this one came separately, and that is your peppermint swirl. So that is that stencil. Isn't that nice? Peppermint candy. So you can do them in whatever colour you want, because they look quite nice for Easter backgrounds when you do them in lilacs and lemons. So I've got 6 stencils, and I can tell you how big they are. I'm just going to go across there, and that is, if I go from that bit to that bit, they're 6 inches square. So that's how big my stencils are. Now, I'd already used this in the week, so you've seen this frame cut up, but what I don't think I showed you is the other bits that come with it. So if I tip that up and get those out, I think I actually used the snowflakes on one of the backgrounds. In fact, I think I got that card here. Yeah, that's the KS Craft Elf, and I used the whole set, and there's the snowflakes on the background. So that was for that card. I'm just popping that out of the way so it doesn't land on me. But what you didn't get to see is the gorgeous tag that matches, embosses all that snowflake pattern along the edge, and there's also a smaller tag, and there is a little round snowflake tag. So that's the bit of the set that you didn't see. So I'm going to pop those back into that bag while I'm throwing them all over the place, and give this a quick measure in case you missed that one. So that is 5 3/8 of an inch. So that's the size of that frame. And then I got a sort of tattered looking poinsettia. These are linked below, so you'll be able to see what the images look like made up. I've got a large layering Christmas tree. So like you cut it, and then this is the snowy layer that will go on top. And you've got these 2, and these 2 are the snowy layers for here. And I will measure that. And then I've got a smaller Christmas tree, so that I can, like, dot them about or use them on different scale and sizes of things. So the largest tree here is 4.5 inches. So that's that one. And then I've got a large snowman which layers up. And I haven't made these yet. I'll probably try and make them for next week. And that is 3 5/16 of an inch. So that one's quite large. And then I've got the smaller snowman that comes with a little scarf. And that one's also one that layers up. And that is 1 7/8 of an inch. And then I got this kind of snow globe base, because you can use either a circle or one of your what you call them, the arch shaped top dies, and pop them with those. Or it can just be a pedestal that you put a flower arrangement or anything onto. So I really like those. And the biggest one is 3 1/4 inches long. And then I've got this really cute little stripy bow. Now, I would have to measure 1/2 so that it's going to be 3 inches when made up. That's how big that bow is. And as you can see there, it embosses all of those lines into the paper. And then I've got a set of 3 snowflake medallions, which are, you know, useful for anything. Really like those. And that is 1.5 inches for the largest one. And then I got myself a sentiment, which is, that one's an easy one for me. It says let it snow, and it's a great size. I mean, you can quite literally just make a card with that. And that is 3 and, I'm looking at the top there, I'm going to say 3.25 inches. But on this set here, if you just wanted to use those 2 frames and a couple of snowflakes, you can see it's going to make a whole card. So I got that one. And then I've got stamps, which I'm going to turn them around. Put my hand underneath. Got the gorgeous little bears. Got a little bird on his head. Got a little rabbit with a gift. That one's got balloons. We're going to stamp these in a second. And there's your sentiments. Celebrate today and start each day like it's your birthday. Got cake and make a wish. Growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. And then a spare little birdie there. So I've got that set. And I've got loads of sets like this, but I just love them. It's just a great way to cheat on your stitching. So I've got these, and these I believe are one piece, so that you can do a full border, or you can mask them off, because sometimes when you get stamps like this, they can be so thin and so twiddly to handle. So I've got that will do a whole background, and of course I've got the stitched hearts, which I'll turn it that way around. Those are going to be great for Valentine's Day, because if you've got tiny little hearts, you can just stamp the stitched area and put a little die cut heart in the middle. And I've ordered loads of stuff that's got stars, star themed stuff from Piggy Store, so I just thought those would be great for that. But we're going to test those in a second. But things that I made, I got myself a little like squishy marshmallow cup, and I saw this and I thought, I just got to have that. I mean, it's the daftest duck you ever did see, but I just think it's so cute. Absolutely adorable. And with that, I actually got 2 free little gifts. So I've got a tiny little cute reindeer, and I've got a little tiger. So that was a free gift that came with my sweet little duck. And this one has to be seen to understand it, because I have cut it apart. And it's the base layer for a Santa Claus tag. And you can see I haven't poked it out there. But I've made those so I can measure them. Right, so first up is my lovely squishy marshmallow cup, and I just think that's absolutely gorgeous. And I put 3 little crystals down there for the holly berries. But isn't that sweet? Just love it. It's a great size. I did make it kind of, you know, relative to the website. So that is 3.5 inches. And then I think the biggest area there going across the saucer, I'm going to say 3 inches. So that is 3.5 by 3. Really easy to make. And then the next thing is that Santa tag that I just showed you. And lucky me, it fits the shaker domes that I got last week. So it fits the large shaker dome. Let's see how close we can get into there. And then there it is on the back, just regular cardstock. I mean, the shaker dome does overlap a little bit, but I think that's okay because it stops the cardstock from getting bashed about. But the adhesive doesn't go right to the edge on these, but it fits, and I just love that. So easy to make, because as I said, it cuts the solid and you just know where to put the layers. And these are the shaker domes that I got last week, and you can see what I mean. The adhesive leaves, I'll just pick one out. See, you get like a little bit of an edge so that your adhesive doesn't, you know, hang out. So they just fit it perfectly. And the dies that come with it are what cut the actual back to go onto the back of there. So, you know, they just all fit together. So I was really, really pleased about that. Just love it. And I showed you those. They're absolutely solid. They're gorgeous. I mean, as I said, you know, a tag or an ornament on a tree. I'm really happy with that. And then last but not least, before we do the stamping and stenciling, is my lovely little silly duck. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? I absolutely love it. Now, you could arrange the wings on that however you want to, or you could cut 2 or 3 and, you know, kind of have them flapping up in the air. But it's just gorgeous. I love it. And you have to excuse my throat. The position of the wings there almost makes it look like the little duck is wrapped in a blanket. And I think, you know, if you kind of accentuated that, you could have a get well soon underneath it, like a little ducky, you know. With the pooly coals, you could attach it to a little paper handkerchief or something and a get well soon sentiment. And it would just look like it was all wrapped up, keeping warm. But I just love it. I love the beak and the legs. I just love the whole design of it. But there's other ways that this has been done, and those images are on the website. But I think most of all the images are quite prim that are on there. But I just thought it was gorgeous. And it's going to look great, isn't it, for the springtime, with a little umbrella and a little bit of watercolour under its feet for a little splashy rain puddle. And such a beautiful size. I'm going to measure it. And I don't think I measured that, did I? So while my brain is still in gear, that is 3¼ inches, that lovely little duck. Absolutely love it. Well, I'm going to flip this over. And this is 2 5/8. So that's how big that is. It's quite large. I'm going to do that again because, yeah, it is. It's 2 5/8 of an inch. It's just a beautiful size. Right, so that's my haul. Those are my little makes. I'm just going to pause and get some paper. Right, so for a quick test, I figured I'd do the candy here, and that one layers onto there. You can see I've put black dots at the top so that I know which goes top left. So I'm using spun sugar, festive berries in the oxide, and one of my swirly twirly brushes. And I'm going to go in with the spun sugar first because I'm going to use the same stencil brush, and then I'll just wash it out after. So you know me, I don't really pin many things down, which is extremely naughty. But let's just do a couple of these and keep them in an area where I'm not going all over my paper, and see what we end up with. Right, do that one there just to run that colour out. And there's a tiny one. Another tiny one. Right, so that's the spun sugar, and that's stenciled up beautifully. And now I'm going to use the festive berries and get the top layer. So this is the top layer, and now I just need to match up exactly what it is that I just did. Now, did I just do that wrong? See, that's the thing with layering stencils. You can end up having a disaster. But I think I've got it right now. Right. This is a lovely red. So let's go in. I think I've got all different shades of red going on here. I do love these brushes. Has anyone else got these brushes? They're so easy on your hands. And all you have to do is just put them down gently on the paper and just give them a swirl and a twirl. It's wonderful. Right, let's see what we've got. Just put my lid on here. Pop my brushes out of the way. Ooh, isn't that lovely? Now, you know, I know I made my mess here, but you wouldn't do something like that. Would you? No. And you can also go in with a white gel pen and add just a little bit more detail. It's usually better to wait for your ink to dry before doing that, but you know, you can just go in and do whatever it is that you want to, just for a little bit of fun, and add little highlights. I just love that. Well, I love candy type things anyway, you know me. My cookies, my cakes, and my candies. Right, next thing I'm going to do is some stamping, because when you've purchased stamps, you want to know that they work. So I'm just going to use some of the smaller ones, and I think I'm going to go with the bear with the bird on his head, and one of the sentiments out of this pack. So I'm just going to get them out here, and let's have a look. Yep, the bear with the bird on his head. As he comes. That came off easy enough. I'm using my Alina Craft stamp block. Pop that on there. You can, of course, use a stamp platform, and I do have one of those. I just haven't got it out at the moment. When I say I have one of those, I actually have several of those. But let's pop this down here. Things like this, I'm always worried about applying too much pressure, because they've got such nice fine lines, and that is an absolutely perfect stamp, because that little piece that's missing there, it's meant to be, and then you've got that little overlap on the birdie. That will be absolutely gorgeous on watercolour cardstock. So now I'm going to test the sentiment, and I'm going to go for the sentiment that's next to it. So I'll pop that down on there, ink it up. Well, I must admit, I am actually in the habit of doing sentiments on my stamp platform now, because I hate it when I've sort of like concentrated and put a little bit of effort into it and it's only half stamped. So there you go. Make a wish. Growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. So they are beautiful. They work. So I'm going to pop that one back in. And I will come back with proper makes with a lot of these next week. So I'll do that for my Friday, because I don't think I've got any personal hauls coming in for a couple of weeks, because I went absolutely mad on Piggy Store, and when I saw the Star Christmas collection, I basically bought it all. And that's the wonderful thing about Piggy Store, is that you can absolutely do things like that, because you get free shipping if you spend $18, but you get so much for $20. And you know, I'm like a kid in a store. Now, as I was saying, these are attached holes so that you can do that and stamp them as backgrounds. But you can also be brave like me and grab a pair of scissors. I'm just reaching over here, and take a good look at what you got and decide to cut something off. Now, I think all those are connected, so... And of course, when you're doing something like this, you do need to be careful. I do really like those stars. Like I said, you know, it's meant to be a background stamp, but there's individual pieces that I want in there. So I'm not afraid to do stuff like this. And I just very carefully track where I'm going. I'm going to go off up there. I'm going to go around there. And then if you just bend it over, you can see where the mould has been. See? Now I've got my stars, and I'm going to get all starry on you. So let's have a look at that. Oh, and it looks really lovely. Let's take a gander. There. Ooh, isn't that nice? Yeah. I will actually sit here after and cut apart the bits that I want. There you go. A little bit of clarity. So we've got stitches, we've got bears. I just absolutely love it. They work. I'm very happy. So if you look at this, you can see the spaces in between. You can just go in between and cut along there, cut along there. In fact, I'll do another one just to show you. Because it's Friday. And just retrieve the bits that you want. Just hold your stamp into the light while you do it. And you won't make a mistake because you can see where all the mould lines are. There we go. We've got a stripy bit out now. So if I take my stars off, pop the stripy bit on there and see what we've got. Let's ink that up. Oh, that looks like a really nice, delicate stitched line. There you go. So if you're someone who likes to do journaling, a little bit of edge on a tag or a pocket or something. I don't know what the second stamping is going to look like. Let's try that. Oh, it's a bit paler. But that's just wonderful. I mean, that's an extreme close-up. That's not the stamp. That was just like a grey dot that was on my paper. But I just love him. Look at him eating his cake. He's got his little hand in his mouth. So I'm really looking forward to watercolouring this. So that is what I have for you today. I have shared my haul and I've got to go wash my stencils before they turn bright red. But I do hope you have an absolutely awesome day. I thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. I don't know what I'm saying day for. I'm thinking it's the week. And yeah, maybe I'm trying to get out of doing gardening. But I have planted my mulberry trees and they're looking really healthy and fabulous. And people are saying, are you sure you wanted to plant those? Have you got any idea how big they get? And yeah, I do. And I did plant the dwarf variety. And the dwarf variety, I understand, can achieve up to 30 feet tall. But think about all those mulberry berries. Yes, I'm looking forward to making jam and jelly with all of those. So anyway, I'm digressing all over the place. Have an absolutely awesome weekend. As usual, all links below, and I'll be up on Monday with KS Craft. Bye.